Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another fabulous episode of Bimbo Mentality, a podcast, an educational podcast for silly girls, where we sit down with an expert and see if they can think like a bimbo enough to teach us all about the neat things that they do. My name is Bug. I am joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Emma. Emma, how are you today?
Doing really well, feeling very bimbo, 7 days out of getting some nice new bazongas, so really committing to the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'm really happy, yeah.
Few things are more bimbo mentality, baby, than getting bigger tits. Like,
Real. I'm very happy with them so far, so.
Over in the booth, doing producer stuff, it's Rue. How are you, Rue?
I'm good. My friend Emma has new tits, and so that's really just good news.
Yeah. I too am very excited. That's also kind of the biggest thing in my week, in my 2 weeks, is that my good friend Emma got bigger tits.
Oh my god. I love both of you.
And joining us this week on the podcast is our guest, Violet Doom. Violet, for the last 4 years, has worked in the relationship management for a major mutual funds company in Canada, helping ensure the smooth transfer of funds between institutions. In her off time, she helps her friends develop indie TTRPGs on a GM theory level. Welcome to the podcast, Violet. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing really good. Congratulations, Emma. Always a big change there.
Thank you.
So many people who've had that recently. It's just in the heat of summer. Always interesting.
It's a time when you're feeling yourself. You're trying to. We're having our hot bimbo summers out here. Be in line with the moment.
Oh yeah.
I was like, you know what would make like a really hot apartment without central AC even better? Boob sweat. And so I had decided to do that.
Yeah. Real.
Well, so we're here today to talk about finance. Emma, what do you know about the world of finance?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah, me too. So we're coming into this one more or less blind. I can basically keep track of my own credit. That's about it.
That's basically the same. Stuff gets transferred from my little card to places or cash, and that's about the extent of money for me. So
yeah, occasionally I'll find out either that work gave me extra money that I can take out when I quit the job, or that or my credit card company will give me a few extra dollars for spending money, as sort of a prize.
Yep.
That's what I know. So Violet, that's what you're getting into. How are you feeling? Do you think you're up to this challenge?
I think I'm up to the challenge. I think I can get this into a bimbo mentality.
So, all right. So tell us about what you do. What is your area of expertise?
All right. So I currently work in mutual funds. They are a investment product that people use generally for retirements, but also just to earn money. I ensure the smooth movement of money. I talk to different institutions to ensure that transactions are placed smoothly on their end to us or us to them. All right, so a mutual fund is a product that owns stocks and bonds. I'm sure you guys are familiar with what stocks are, just little slivers of companies that can be owned by individual investors or other companies.
I think I know stocks. I think I know stocks. Yeah.
Okay.
I know vaguely stocks. I know that there's whole offices where kind of people in suits will just kind of watch a big board and trade back and forth little sort of play money until somebody gets really, really rich. Is sort of my understanding.
That's exactly what a stock is. It's play money, promises for future profits by giving us money now, and then it gets traded around.
I
What
saw The Wolf
your
of Wall Street, so I'm kind of an expert on stocks. Actually,
I have not seen The Wolf of Wall Street, so I don't know anything about it.
Okay, well, the Wolf of Wall Street is a hedge fund. It is a type of investment that you essentially are trading throughout the day, buying low, selling high, kind of deal, trying to earn just little tiny bits of profit every transaction to earn as most money as possible. Most people don't qualify for hedge funds. They are for rich people. They usually require a certain amount of money to even just buy into them. What I work in is a mutual fund. It is a more steady investment. They don't trade like that, thankfully. They actually have this weird condition for mutual funds where you can't trade it during the day, but at 4 p.m. every day it gets bought or sold by the company that you bought it from. So if you bought it from, say, Franklin Templeton in the U.S., they would have to buy back it at the end of the day if you so choose to sell it.
would you have to sell, or is it like you can?
You can. You don't have to sell unless you want the money, obviously. Um, it is more of a product that allows you to get dividends every month or every quarter or every year, depending on the fund.
Is this like related to like retirement accounts? Is this like a similar idea to that?
Oh, absolutely. It's most retirement accounts, particularly 401ks in the United States, are mutual funds. They have target dates like, say, 2055, some of them, if you're planning on retiring in 2055. Other ones are just day-to-day trading. You can buy and sell at any time at the end of the day. And so the difference between this and a stock, because you brought up stocks, is that stocks you buy and sell when there is a buyer. Mutual funds, there's always guaranteed a buyer.
How does that work?
So when the company makes a mutual fund, they collect a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, to buy stocks and bonds from other companies. And then they sell them out to people to make up the debt that they accrued while trying to set up the mutual fund. And then they keep a portion of the cash aside, ready to repurchase mutual funds at the end of the day in case people want to buy them back or sell them back. I do apologize.
Huh.
So wait, so is it the company buying back its own mutual funds and that's why it's guaranteed a buyer?
Yeah, exactly. So Franklin Templeton, if they make a mutual fund, they sell the shares of the mutual fund to individuals or companies, and then if they want to offload the mutual fund, then what you do is you just go, "Hey, Franklin Templeton, I want you to buy this back from me," and they have to buy it back.
So, question: is this
Yes.
what happens if everyone at the exact same time says, "Hey, I want to buy it back"? Do they have to cover 100%, or they only have to cover? Do they only set aside a fraction, and this would lead to a massive meltdown if loss in trust in the entire industry happened and everyone tried to get it out at once?
You've got it. There would be a huge financial meltdown. Uh, it's called a bank run, where people go look for their investment money, and if they don't have it, then there are usually some level of regulation, about $250,000 per account, depending on if it is insured by the insurance agency of the country. But if you have $1 million and there's a bank run, you only get $250,000 back. The rest is a pure
Oof.
loss.
And is that likewise if let's say a company goes under before you've sold back your mutual fund, are you just screwed, or is there regulation on that?
Oh, you'd be just screwed. You'd get the $250,000 depending on how much money you have. But yeah, in general, you're kind of just screwed.
Okay, so I was gonna say like, oh, this seems like a safer kind of investment than stocks, but it doesn't. It doesn't sound like it.
Well, the issue with stocks is there's no guaranteed buyer. So recently, SpaceX had a bunch of stocks, and I will be bringing up SpaceX later. That went onto the market. They started pretty high, and now they're trading at about $123 per share. So if you start at $200, you buy it at $200. If no one wants to buy it for $200, you have to sell it for what people are willing to buy it if you choose to sell.
I'm. This feels like. I mean, obviously, I feel like we don't even need to say out loud that Bimbo Mentality is an anti-Elon Musk podcast. We've probably said
Yes.
that before. I am. We're not there yet. It's too early in the podcast, but I feel like when we come back around to SpaceX, it's going to give me an opportunity to give my opinions about space, and I'm very excited to have an opportunity to do that live on the podcast.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So, yeah. So, mutual funds, bonds, stocks. Bonds are guaranteed investments through usually countries, but sometimes companies offer them. They're also held in mutual funds. Um, Generally, they offer a pretty low payout, so they're more stable, more safe. Mutual funds generally are safe investments. They aim to be very safe. That's kind of their whole purpose. And in comparison to, say, exchange traded funds, where they are more actively managed and they act as a stock, you can buy them and sell them with whatever someone's looking to buy or sell them at. So, you mentioned that retirement. That is absolutely the problem with mutual funds. Back in the 80s and earlier, retirement funds generally were guaranteed investment funds. You put in money for your pension every paycheck, and then you'd be paid $500 a week.
Uh-huh.
In the 80s, shifting from more blue collar work to more white collar work, most of North America has kind of shifted away from employer backed pensions towards 401ks or independent pensions.
Yeah, we just talked about this. Didn't we just talk about this on a previous?
Yeah, I was going to say shout out
Yeah.
to former Bimbo Mentality guest Charles Starr, who gave us a little bit of a brief overview on 401ks and pension funds. So catch us out. How does mutual fund compare and contrast with those other tools?
Well, a 401k generally is a mutual fund. It can be other types of investment vehicles. But a mutual fund is more or less kind of the main vehicle. To the point that about $79 trillion are in mutual funds worldwide.
Oh.
That's a lot of money.
It's very much a lot of money. Yeah. And your retirement, if you are lucky enough to have the opportunity to save for retirement, goes into these mutual funds most of the time in 401ks or things like in Canada RRSPs or locked-in retirement funds, depending on work for. We then pay you out a pittance on an individual investment instead of a guaranteed amount that old pensions used to provide. So we went from companies being responsible for the retirement of their employees, the well-being of their employees, to you're on your own, buy the mutual funds that are out there. Hopefully you're in profit and hopefully you can actually retire.
Yeah, I feel like
Right.
the only people, at least in the US, that still have it are like some teachers in education and like industries like that. I feel like are still have them.
The vanishingly few industries left in the US where people actually stay with organizations long term.
Yep. And it sucks that one of them is like fucking cops, which is like I feel like they are the.
Sigh.
I feel like they have like. I know. I feel like it's insane that like the one industry that still has like strong unions and pensions is like the worst people.
State-sponsored terrorists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And the lack of unionization is definitely what caused this. Moving away from union jobs where the workers had the power to go, hey, we want this steady pension, into the blue collar jobs, which has like a mystique of like being too good for unions. It has definitely shifted how investments work, how the money market works in regards to savings for retirement. And this comes up to my point that I wanted to really make. Wealthy people are stealing your retirement. Wealth is generated, supposedly, when people sell parts of their company or own stocks in their company. They put their companies up on indexes that mutual funds use to make their purchases. And when the mutual fund buys a lot into it because the company seems relatively stable, such as, say, a big bookstore that no longer sells books as much online, they get wealthier. And that is exactly what Elon Musk did. He rushed the IPO for SpaceX in regards to getting people to buy into it, usually within pension funds. There was a big push within the industry to go into SpaceX to hopefully ride the rocket to the moon. And if your mutual fund company did purchase into SpaceX, you've lost 20 to 30% of the value that they invested already.
Oof. I am. So this is a little like Bimbo Mentality PSA episode, which I'm glad. I think that this is going to be a good one for some of our listeners to listen to. So, help me out on understanding this a little bit. A mutual fund is. I know that a 401k, and I know that a mutual fund is related to that it's like, technically speaking, you can kind of control it yourself. Like, you get to decide kind of what investments your money gets invested in. Is it something like but are there cases where like your company is doing it for you and can screw you over that way with like investing in SpaceX?
Yeah, absolutely. So a strong example of this is Fidelity. It is a company that has strong ties with Elon Musk. They put pension funds, about roughly $300 million of their profits, into Elon Musk buying Twitter back when he was looking for loans in order to do that. So inherently, even if the individual mutual fund that you purchase, let's say you buy a mutual fund that is forestry, because they usually are related to either specific industries or risk ratings. So let's say your mutual fund gets profit. Most of the profit goes back to the customer, but a sliver of it does go back to the company. A little bit of juice there to keep the business running. And the company that earned profits from your retirement savings then went to Elon Musk and said, hey, go ahead, here's $300 million, buy Twitter.
Yikes. I mean, yikes. Like,
yeah,
this shit is all over the place. Like, this is going to be a little bit of a of an angrier episode for us, I think, because like, I'm personally reminded like my own. I'm going to vent about my own job a little bit right now, because I relatively recently took my first job at a corporate vet hospital. I'm not going to say which one on the podcast, obviously, but there's they like bought out. They also like bought out one of the organizations that does like lab work equipment and swapped out a bunch of our fully functional lab equipment with like their own subsidiary companies. Because, well, now when we submit lab work, we're paying ourselves instead of paying somebody else. But the equipment doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. It's shit. Like, I don't, so we're just doing a worse job of, we can't do our jobs as well because some motherfucker we've never seen, never heard from is trying to, make a little bit of extra money by funneling company money into his other company instead of just doing what we got to do a good job and making money off of good veterinary care.
I feel like literally the entire economy is just in a state of ripping out the copper wiring of whatever is remaining, and pieces of shit like Elon, who, when you mentioned like earlier about their $79 trillion in mutual funds, and I was like, well, it's a lot. And then I was like, wow, one dipshit has 1/79th of worth of money right now of that. I'm like, I know a great way to redacted. Take that out of the podcast.
But let's keep this podcast not legally actionable.
Well, like, please, Rue, please take that out. But yeah. Anyways,
will do.
Anyways, yeah, I'm just like blown away. It feels like everything is just worse.
You think about it too, like, okay, this part of the problem here is like monopolization, right? Like, it's one company buying out a whole bunch of subsidiary companies and then, funneling all of the money from those subsidiary companies, making you have to engage with a subsidiary company instead of with the best available choice, and funneling profits into the parent company that way. But also some of it is just that, like, 10 CEOs of the 10 parent companies that are left all like hang out with each other on islands where they do sex crimes and like tell you all and gamble, like sit down at a poker table and gamble with your money. Like, it's literally they're stealing your money and handing it around to each other.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the problem is worse than just that. Not only are they taking your money, your production, and making themselves wealthy, they're also destroying the environment. Yep. Many mutual funds exist just for mining or forestry or other mineral extractions, and you're betting your retirement future on the thing that will make it maybe not necessarily happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, earlier when you were like, yeah, a mutual fund could like, they'd be ready to pay out in 2055. And I was like, I just want to be like alive and like healthy in 2055. And I don't even know if that's going to happen. Like,
When Immortan Joe owns the water supply, then at least we'll all have the unstolen fractions of our mutual fund money to rely on.
For real. That's I'm basically treating like a lot of this shit as like monopoly money, because I'm like, I don't even like know if we're gonna have a society in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
With between the environment and like climate change and whatever the fuck is going to happen with AI. I don't even know what the fuck's going to happen, but something's going to happen. And that, plus, like, the fucking rise of fascism everywhere. I'm like, I don't even know how these things are going to collide, but, like, little people like us, like, if this doesn't work out, great. Or at the very least, I shouldn't be making any, like, long-term plans. So, yeah.
Before we Yeah, before we get into that, we do have an expert in the subject available.
Sorry, I'm
So
veering off
Y'all-
into doom.
Put away
Violet,
the Kool-Aid.
what is-
Let's talk about mutual funds.
Yeah.
Well, I just, well, my next question was just going to be the Violet, what is your sense of where things are going to be going with this? Is there cause for optimism, or is this just the system is collapsing and we're going to all lose our money?
And wait, bonus question. If I have a great grandma that was born in Canada and I get citizenship, should I do that? Is the
Yes.
second question.
Okay, so I'm going to address your Canada question first because I've actually kind of like chatted with people about that too. So I would recommend it. It's always better to have more citizenships. Weirdly, even though the U.S. has a weird one in regards to tax, where if you make over a certain amount of money, you do have to pay taxes to the United States, even though you no longer reside there. But yeah, absolutely. If you can track and get like the birth certificates, you can do it, especially now with like us here in Canada tightening down like refugee status and general immigration due to negative sentiments. If you can get that citizenship, do it. And going back to your question, Bug, optimism. Yeah, there is some level of optimism. We're entering a rough time. It's going to be a rougher time. The economy is generally pretty stagnant, except for certain AI companies that aren't necessarily actually making a profit, are making a loss, but they are betting big that it will be what they say it will be.
It won't. Spoiler alert, audience. It won't.
It won't, but there's got to be a next big thing. That's always the thing with capitalism. There's always got to be the next big thing. There always has to be a new frontier. Canada, we're mining Peru or South America, causing problems for the indigenous people there. Not like Canada isn't used to that. But there's hope. Even just from a non-financial sense. Finances go up, finances go down in capital. That's sadly how it works, and it sucks, but it's what it does. But there's people on the ground. My fiance, she works with various mutual aid organizations here where I live, helping out homeless encampments, helping out queer youth. Shout out to Queer Youth Defense. I think the atomization from finances and the financial world of the rich getting richer is really causing networks of people down on street level to interact, and I think that's a good cause for hope.
Yeah, I think that like this is one thing I try to stay mindful of when I like stay pessimistic is that we will not be the first generation to experience a major financial crash. People find their way to surviving and rebuilding their little societies. But God, it sucks that like so much of the structure of the economy right now is based around this like sense of delayed gratification, right? Like you save for retirement, you save up your money, you put part of your paycheck into this fund under the assumption that you're going to get it back in the future. And no, the system does not guarantee that you're going to get it back in the future. In fact, it is more than happy to take the chance that you won't, because it's more important that one asshole gets $4 trillion than that society takes care of its own people. And it's just, it's gross. I mean, it's gross.
It really is. I would say, to echo your optimism somewhat, definitely like I noticed here in Los Angeles, like after the 2024 election, I feel like the number of like local trans events like kind of skyrocketed. I think everyone was kind of needing community, and honestly, yeah, I think what just keeps me like somewhat grounded is like, okay, what can I control? The shit directly in front of me, and I can like help my friends and my people I care about and love and family and like found family. And that's at the end of the day, if I can help those people and they help me and we help each other, like, you know what? Like, that's how we make it through whatever is coming. So I agree with that part. It just, yeah,
On
to echo Bug, it does suck that like we have more than enough resources for everyone if everyone was willing to share. And yeah,
yeah,
like we're in
$79
this
trillion
place.
dollars. That's a lot of money. That's more than enough to take
Yeah,
care of everybody.
It
it's
really
more.
is.
On that topic, Violet, of you know, sort of taking care of yourselves and taking care of each other, do you kind of have any advice for our listeners here about like how to inundate themselves from this? Like, is this a good time to do? Should people like be divesting from their retirement funds and putting that money into savings? Like, what is your take on that?
Well, first, I would like to say I'm not a financial advisor, so my general opinion is there is a bubble coming, and I can't say for sure do a run on the bank. Don't I can't say for sure take out all your money. I can't say for sure buy bonds, but I think people need to be realistic about what an investment will get you now versus what an investment will that same investment will look like in 10 years. Will it be the same value? Will it be the same amount of money you put in? Is a real conversation that needs to be had. And I think not a lot of people are having it, particularly when it comes around the AI sector.
On the more like kind of you may not be able to answer this at all, both for like professional reasons and also you might not know it at all, but like on the more sort of activisty sense, part of what my own suspicion on this is that the system only kind of works to people can only kind of gamble on these incoming funds if we take it for granted, and like they can that the wealthy can kind of take for granted that there's going to always be this sort of pile of investment money there to play with. Is it you know is there political value in withholding those investment funds?
That is a really interesting question. Now, once again, I'm not a financial advisor, but politically, I completely understand that mentality. I would say that there is disinvesting from big corporations, um, disinvesting from these types of savings and investing locally is much better from a moral standpoint. You probably have a local credit union that you have available to you that makes its money off of like mortgages for local community versus a company that owns what is it like 60% of new house purchases or something like that. So there are definitely local and on the ground things that you can do to invest your money that is a lot more maybe politically minded as you put it than investing blindly in mutual funds and letting those fund managers choose what investments you are investing in.
Okay, so there's a middle ground between taking cash and putting it under my mattress and that. Okay, got it.
Yeah, there's absolutely a middle ground. Putting cash under your mattress, buying gold, things like that, all tempting, but inflation is insane and has been insane. So putting it under the mattress, unfortunately, is losing money. The realistically,
Disappointing.
It kind of reminds me of that like old cliche that went around that like the the trans community is just sort of Venmoing each other the same $20 back and forth forever. It's we do that, but instead of $20, it's the same the same stock portfolio, and instead of the trans community, it's your neighborhood.
Yeah, the transgender mutual fund company.
Honestly, based.
Yeah.
I'm down. All right. We've talked about this for a minute. I do want to... This is not at all a good point for a segue, but I want to do this because I think we need to laugh a little. I think that this has been a bit of a doom and gloom episode, and I think that everybody needs a good laugh, and I'm gonna offer myself up for one of our favorite laugh time activities on this show, which is everybody yells at Bug for something insane they said.
Oh, good. Yay. One of my favorite things.
We've been talking about SpaceX and how one Mr. Elon Musk is exploiting the whole idea of space exploration and everybody's excitement about space to steal a whole bunch of people's money. And here's what I'm going to say on this topic. And why I think this everybody's getting suckered on this topic. Space, I'm not impressed by it. I think space kind of sucks.
I'm remembering that this is your take on space, and this makes me insane.
Back in the 60s when we had never been to the moon before, I get it. That's like, okay, we could find some cool shit on the moon, but we have gone to the moon. We have sent out fucking probes out into deep space. What have we found? Bunch of dust and rocks. We have that here.
It's different dust.
How different? Have we discovered some fucking banana space dust? Like, tell me the details of this fancy ass fucking space dust.
The sci-fi nerd in me is wanting to scream right now.
Yeah, as a lover of science fiction, no, but as a practical realist, you're right.
Thank you, Violet. Thank you. Nobody ever admits that. Everybody knows it, but nobody ever admits it.
Oh,
okay, but also, like, here's the thing. Like, there are, like, we give, like, NASA, like, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction, and, like, there is plenty of things like this massive war right now that we can not be funneling money to and still provide for everyone. Well,
sure.
Also, do cool things, like go to Europa and see if there's water.
Well, okay, but what, like, we have water here.
But it's cool if there's water there.
Yeah.
Europa has more water, even though it is a fraction of the size of Earth. It has more water under the ice in Europa, likely, than on the entirety of Earth. Did you know that? Because the ocean is 30 to 50 miles deep.
I did not know that, because I don't read shit about space facts.
The only value of space that I see is we are, like, polluting and, like, running out of fresh water. So maybe going to space to grab some of that water might be the only thing of value, but I agree.
This is so distressing.
It's not even like, I want to be clear about this, because I don't want anybody to get the sense that I'm like being like getting up on my high horse about like, oh, we should not be spending money on going to space when there's like shit we could be spending money on here. My perspective is not about that, because if I thought space was fucking neat, then I would endorse spending money to go there anyway. I just don't get the appeal. It's rocks. It's big rocks. There's so much shit in the ocean that we don't know a goddamn thing about that is verifiably down there.
Have you seen that new terrifying, like, jellyfish that they had that had, like, the long, like, monstrous tentacles?
I haven't, but I want to learn about it because it's a big ass fucking jellyfish, and that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, a planet might have water on it.
Bug.
Am I wrong?
Oh my god. Look, like when we have some virus that makes us all really nice, like in Pluribus, we won't be ready because, you weren't ready for space exploration.
Pluribus? Have not seen it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
I figured not. It was a show that came out in the last 10 years, so I figured probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not lost.
I have watched other TV shows. although I don't really need to because I've already seen the best one. So
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Incredible. Okay. Well,
there we go. We got it all out of our system. We had a good laugh. Now everybody is mad at me.
No, never.
Oh.
I might be a little bit. Just a little mad.
That's
Just a
okay.
little.
You're allowed.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know. We often say we're like Bimbo Mentality is a pro or anti X thing podcast. I want the listeners to know, for the record, that this is a mixed opinion.
Yeah, we are divided on space.
Divided on space.
Update the spreadsheets accordingly. Bimbo Mentality has a divided opinion on the topic of space. Where the hell were we? I don't want to, just a little teaser for the audience here. I don't want to give it away too early, but Rue, don't worry. In a few short weeks, you will have an outlet to take out this rage on me.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm so excited for that.
I know you are. Okay, what else is there to say about finances?
It sucks, but sadly, it's what we live in.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, there's people on the ground looking to help change that. And it's not all doom. There is very, very much hope out there.
So, when are they going to make money illegal? Just ban all of it.
Just ban money.
That's a great question.
I think that would be never. They're never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
That sucks.
That does suck.
It's like my least favorite stuff.
Capitalism too. That isn't capitalism.
We can get a consensus on this one. Bimbo Mentality is an anti-money podcast.
Yeah, which is why we still haven't made a Patreon.
Yeah. We probably will shortly, and you
Eventually.
can ignore everything that we just said because it's coming probably in the next few months.
Yeah. Well, that's our way of letting you get rid of your money is by giving it to us.
That's a great point.
Honestly,
It's always ethical to
it's a
give
service.
trans people your money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, while we're talking about money, have I told y'all my my idea for a strip game version of Monopoly?
Oh, good. Yes. Okay. Let's go. Let's hear it. Let's fucking.
I think that strip Monopoly would rule if the rule of the game is it's just a normal game of Monopoly until you've lost everything. You only start surrendering clothes
Oh my god.
after you've already given up all of your property and your money. Because of course a game of Monopoly takes hours. So by the time you get to the point where the clothes start coming off, it's not even hot anymore. It's just a really heartbreaking, humiliating metaphor for the process of losing everything you own.
This is incredible. I'm fully on board with this. I love this.
Yeah. Stay tuned for a Patreon stretch goal. I cannot promise that. Don't put it in the paper that I promised that.
That's one variant that would actually finally lead to less Monopoly fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting during the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh no. Okay, no, I don't have to collect rent from you. I don't. Can you please stop crying? This is making it really weird for me.
you can even be banker and cheat. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That strip settlers of Catan also.
Oh
I
my god.
There's
watched
an
it.
idea. There's an idea. God, I've not played that game in a long time.
Yeah, I played it once and I got like really frustrated because I didn't understand the rules.
It's one of the thing about like Settlers of Catan is it's a quick build and then it's a lot of the same thing happening over and over for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's a good gateway. Like I feel like it served its purpose of getting normies into gaming, like board games, because it's like a good gateway game between like the Monopoly and like Sorry and that kind of like basic stuff into like Gloomhaven is at the other side of the scale, right?
Yeah.
And then Catan gets them in there.
Yeah.
It's fair. I never made that jump for much the same reason I don't watch a lot of movies, which is I really can't sit still long enough for a board game. Also, the rules are confusing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I've read that like you can buy like $150 cases to help set up Gloomhaven and make it easier because it takes a long time to set up. And I'm like,
What?
what? Like I have to do this to like facilitate the game in a reasonable amount of time. What?
All power to my board game girlies. I don't know how y'all do it. I could
Yeah.
not be me.
My friend plays this one game where she literally has her entire kitchen table set up because there's a map that you're constantly building, and then she goes onto the floor to expand the map even further
Oh.
because she owns too many expansions.
Oh my god.
And it's a
Crazy.
single player game.
Wild.
Well, we've chatted about mutual funds, we've chatted about capitalism, we've chatted about space, we've chatted about really depressing ideas for board games. Before we kind of move into our What We Learned segment, Violet, do you want to briefly mention your TTRPGs?
Yes, absolutely. So, speaking of board games adjacent, I help my friends develop tabletop role-playing games. The crown jewel that I will mention is Pokemans. It's spelled Pokeymanz. It is a Savage World hack, but to the point that I don't even consider that, where you catch little guys and fight them. Less crunchy than, say, Pokemon United.
Awesome. I love games like that. I think we will definitely include like links if that's something you want to do in the show notes on this.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think we are at the point now where it is time to talk a little bit about what we have learned today. Emma, what'd you learn?
I finally learned what a mutual fund is because I had no idea. I just kind of like went along with it. I still have no idea what a bond is, but I know more about that. I know also I learned a little bit about the depth of hatred for the cosmos that my podcastee has.
It's not hatred. I don't hate space. It's just I'm not interested in it.
Fascinating.
I also learned what a mutual fund is. I learned a whole bunch of fun little personal finance terms. I learned how to differentiate between mutual funds and pension funds and 401ks and stuff. I kind of learned about the ways that rich people gamble with all of our money, although I kind of already knew about that, but now I feel like I understand it a little bit better. I learned that I'm never gonna nobody's ever really gonna hear me out on this space thing. I think that I'm gonna be at a lonely little table of one on that forever, and that's okay because sometimes boldly stating the truth just gets everyone turning against you. And that's just life. I learned about some ways that you can kind of take control of your own financial situation and kind of like that it is something to be cognizant of, but not something to be hopeless about, and that there are ways that we can kind of cooperatively work to mitigate the risk for when the inevitable crash comes. Violet, having heard what we learned today, do you feel like you successfully thought like a bimbo and taught us all about your area of expertise?
I think so. I really do.
Yeah, that's great. It's funny. I feel like personal finance is just like not a bimbo topic, but it's it's scary. It's hard. It's math. It is. Yeah. You want to just be able to kind of put your paycheck in your bank account and buy your clothes and makeup and drinks and tickets for shows and all the cool fun things that bimbos do. But like, I think something I've taken away from this is like part of what bimbo mentality is rejecting the sense of optimization and go and you always got to be doing the shit that's going to get you the farthest, because the truth is that when you do that, you are banking on the assumption that the things that are true now and are the best options now are going to be in the future, and that's not always true, because people do not always have your best interest at heart and are not actually looking to make sure that everybody is living the best possible life. But you when it comes down to it, the best thing for you is always to go with your gut and make decisions based on what actually feels right and best in terms of like your personal morals, and not always feeling like you have to surrender that to have the best thing, and also putting your faith in people you actually trust and can talk to personally, and like working collaboratively with people who might know a little bit more about things than you, but also like know you and want what's best for you. And that's bimbo mentality, baby.
Cosign.
Before we wrap up, Violet, do you have anything to plug for us?
I do have a couple things to plug. I already plugged Pokemans. I don't know, follow me on Bluesky. I've been working on some essays on technology, capitalism, and identity, not just gender, but identity in general. And when I find a place I want to post them, I will post it on my Bluesky, queerceleste.northsky.social.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us and chatting with us today, Violet. I learned a lot.
All right. Thanks for having me.
That's gonna do it for us on Bimbo Mentality. Join us in a couple weeks when we actually do the biomedical communications episode that was promised for this week. Hey, everybody.
Bye.
I just want to reach out and touch someone. I just want